Good morning, I'm Carl. Welcome to Coffee with the Garden Club. So, I've been talking a lot about free seeds and plants that you can get for your garden because I know everybody's concerned this year with the way things are going in terms of seeds selling out. Many seed companies have closed up early or put orders on hold to handle just massive numbers of orders. And so you may be wondering, what can I plant? How can I get seeds that will be true to type and which I will be able to grow in my garden? So another interesting vegetable that you can grow that I didn't even realize I could grow in my garden until this past year is lemongrass. Now, lemongrass is used in Thai cooking, Vietnamese cooking, but it's a really nice lemony flavor that can be added to a lot of things. You can make tea from it, and you can substitute it for things like lemon balm in other recipes. It's a nice thing to have, but it's really cool that I can grow it even in New England. And I realized this just by trial and error. What I did was I went to my supermarket and I saw that they were selling lemongrass. And I thought, wow, that'd be a cool thing if I could manage to root that in water and get it going. So I did. I rooted some of it in water, and this was last spring, and I came up with a number of rooted pieces of lemongrass that I then planted out into the garden. Actually, there were only a couple last spring because I only bought a couple of shoots of this, a couple of stalks. Anyway, this lemongrass you see here came from the end of the season. So at the end of the season, I went and harvested what I had planted and cut up some and froze it and saved it for the winter time and for recipes that I'm going to be making. But I took some of the smaller sprigs because honestly, you can't do much with lemongrass when it's not quite a bit wider than this. Until it gets wider, there's not enough of a central stalk inside to really make it worth your time. So these are great though for rooting for next spring. So I put them in some water. I've rooted them at this point, and my next step will be to put them in some soil and in little pots in the basement where I have my growing room, and then these will get planted out around the garden again. I just put them in ordinary garden soil in a slightly damper spot because I knew that they liked a little bit of water, so I put them near one of the watering sources, and they did spectacularly well. By the end of the summer, I had a clump of lemongrass, and quite tall, and it was really neat to have something like that. Next year, I'll have quite a bit more because these will allow me to have 6 more plants, whereas I only had 2 this year, and so that'll be a nice addition to the food forest out there. Anyway, I wanted to pass that little tip along to you. So if you can get your hands on some lemongrass, just go to your probably like a Whole Foods or a market that has more natural foods or gourmet vegetables, and see if you can't get some lemongrass. Call around first, perhaps, before you go out, and try rooting some this spring so that you can plant it out in your garden this coming season. So that's another thing that you can add to your list of very easy to propagate foods. I wouldn't say free, but easy to propagate foods that you can grow from something that you can get in the supermarket. You don't have to worry about whether the seed company is carrying it or not. You can pick this up and start it in your own window. So anyway, thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy your coffee.